What is up, followers? I appreciate you guys being here. What's poppin'? Happy Saturday night. We are doing another mock draft. We are grinding on this mock draft. We're trying to do like a mock draft a day. So if you guys are joining in, thanks so much. We are going to be using this new software. So it is absolutely awesome. So if you can hear me well, if you're following, like, glad to have you guys in. We will be doing this mock draft here shortly. We're getting everybody in, and we just got everyone in. And just like that, we are underway. And let me add this to the screen. So yeah, thanks so much for stopping in. Appreciate everyone being here. We are going to continue to grind. So if you are new to our channel, please subscribe, please follow as we continue to grind and produce this fantasy football content as we come up on the season. And just like that, we have Jonathan Taylor, Justin Jefferson, Austin Eckler, Christian McCaffrey go off the board. I picked the 110, so I am, of course, drafting a little bit later here. And we'll see exactly what kind of falls. Cooper Kupp goes at the 1-5. I think I'm probably going to be going running back strategy. And so we're kind of just going to be going from there. But yeah, excited to be here. Excited for another Saturday night. Excited to just be grinding on this fantasy football grind. I think we're continuing to grow the channel. We're right around 39 subscribers. Our goal as a channel is to get to 50 subscribers by the beginning of fantasy football season. And I think it's going to be easily acceptable if we can get there by then, because we are grinding and doing all this kind of stuff. And I'm now on the clock. So after Cooper Kupp, we had Jamar Chase, Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, and then Joe Mixon went off the board. So I'm there at the 110. And this is where I look. Najee Harris is there. It's probably the best running back available. And so I'm just going to take Najee, going to take the value that falls to 110. I don't think he's going to absolutely have the same type of value that he had last year, but I do think that he is still going to have the volume game. I would have preferred a Joe Mixon to fall, but we'll take Najee Harris and hope for one of these stud wide receivers to fall to us between a Devontae Adams, a Stephon Diggs, maybe a Travis Kelce. I definitely do like my drafts when I go double running back, because some of these other running backs have been falling in the draft. But if right here, if Travis Kelce goes off the board, then I will pivot back to drafting running back. It'll just depend on exactly what happens here. But yeah, thanks so much for everyone for stopping in. Appreciate you guys. If you guys could please leave a like, even if you are watching this after the replay, would appreciate it, as we are trying to grow this channel, as I do want to welcome you to the family, as we do hopefully provide some value and some entertainment as we continue on in these mock drafts. I am on the clock. So Aaron Jones went right there. Travis Kelce falls. I don't necessarily always like going Travis Kelce, but I think especially in these formats, it definitely helps to get that tight end value out of the way. Wide receivers, you could go CeeDee Lamb, but yeah, I went Travis Kelce there. So, and clearly I autoed. So even though that was my pick to begin with. So, but yeah, thanks everyone for stopping in. Means a whole lot as we continue on in this season. So. After Travis Kelce, we had Alvin Kamara, then we had Saquon Barkley, and then we had Mark Andrews, and then we had CeeDee Lamb off of the board. I really like, like I said, getting this. If you can get one of these elite tight end options early, it definitely does help as you continue on in your drafts, because then, of course, we can really pivot and hit running back hard. We can really hit wide receiver. And I'm a late quarterback kind of guy, so hopefully get one of those like a Russell Wilson or Matthew Stafford later on. Alvin Kamara has really kind of risen up the rankings here recently. I don't know necessarily what it is. I mean, I think it's just the fact that everyone realizes that if you can get Joe Mixon and Alvin Kamara, if you're getting Alvin Kamara in the 2-4, that is an awesome hero RB, especially if you get maybe some. I've seen Alvin Kamara fall anywhere between the 2-7 to 2-8. So it just kind of depends on exactly what happens there. But yeah, if you guys are checking in, please leave a like. Please subscribe to the channel if you are new. It would mean a lot. We're going to be running. This is not only the first draft. We're going to run a second mock as well tonight. So get a few different mocks in as we continue to like go forward, as we're trying to figure out this fantasy football content. The one thing I will say about like kind of like the later round picks, like I know a bunch of my friends have been doing the redraft leagues here recently. And so I like to do it like right before the season starts, just due to injury, because right around now you still do have all of the preseason injuries that tend to happen. So after Mark Andrews, we had CeeDee Lamb, Leonard Fournette, Nick Chubb, Tyreek Hill, Deebo Samuel, Javonte Williams, Mike Evans, James Conner, Keenan Allen, Kyle Pitts, Ezekiel Elliott, and Michael Pittman. As we're coming around on me, I'm looking at, can we take a wide receiver? Will an A.J. Brown or T. Higgins fall to us? Will another running back, potentially like a Travis Etienne or Breece Hall, fall to us? I'm not a big believer in Cam Akers this year. And, of course, David Montgomery, and that offense scares me a little bit. So Breece Hall just went. No worries about that. Will A.J. Brown fall 2 more spots? I do not think so. I think Bad Adam Smith is probably going to take him right here. Would be kind of my guess. So, but yeah, how are you guys doing tonight? How is everything going? Excited to be here. Like I said, if you're following the stream, leave a comment. Let me know if you are here. And right like that, A.J. Brown goes off pick before me. So I will just take Travis Etienne here. I feel pretty good about that. Feel pretty good about the value that Travis Etienne is when you can get him at the 310. But that's kind of what I'm thinking. DJ Moore goes off to 311. But yeah, like I said, this is a new streaming software. So let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can comment, say hi. It means a lot as I try to make sure that this streaming service is working, because I looked at a few different options. We've been testing out a few different options. So if you've seen the different views on our stream, to anyone asking, yes, we did go with StreamYard, just cheapest and best option to be able to use. Tried to do OBS and Streamlabs, which is a little bit freer, but just took forever to try to figure out. So let me know if you can see everything and make sense. So after I took Travis Etienne at the 310, we had DJ Moore, David Montgomery, and then Deontay Johnson off the board. Mike Williams then goes. I'm looking at a receiver. I do not like Terry McLaurin. And I don't really love any of the other wide receivers on the board. I think this is one of the places where I'm just going to hit running back again. And I'm going to draft Cam Akers as my RB3. We're going to go a little bit robust RB. Not always the biggest robust RB, but once you have DJ Moore off the board, Deontay Johnson, Mike Williams are gone, so the receivers are really getting pushed up the board. The running back position is really falling. That is where I'm really trying to draft the running backs and take advantage of the way the board falls, because especially like in other drafts I've had, Breece Hall, Travis Etienne, Cam Akers are all off the board by 3-8. So another reason why I will be taking Cam Akers, and we'll see how my team ends up. Dennis in the sleeper chat said, is it just me, or are there so many good wide receivers round 4 to 7? I agree. I think the value of the wide receivers, like between 4 to 7, can just be a little bit different, just depending on how you're actually viewing the upside of some of these guys. So like Mike Williams, Deontay Johnson in the 4th, I think are great. Terry McLaurin, I don't necessarily agree with that on a whole big level. I do love Cortland Sutton. I think there's a ton of upside there. I do love Jalen Waddle. I think I've been saying this in all my streams. So if you've been following along, you will exactly know that Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill should not be 2 rounds apart. Like the fact that they are 2 rounds apart says a lot about how we evaluate these guys in the dynasty community. Of course, Tyreek Hill has been a top 5 wide receiver for the last 3 years, but we really need to think about what's the real upside that both of those guys have. And I think Jalen Waddle has just as much upside as Tyreek Hill. So after Jalen Waddle, we have Allen Robinson off the board. Allen Robinson's an interesting case because what's going to necessarily happen? Matthew Stafford's, of course, there's the rumors of the elbow injury, but he does now come to a point where he has the best quarterback that he's had in his whole career. So I think Allen Robinson, of course, he's going to get like 140 targets. Robert Woods was a wide receiver 1 before he tore his ACL last season. So no reason to think that Allen Robinson cannot be a wide receiver 1. Great value at the 4.8. Darren Waller goes at the 4.9. Yonks is going heavy tight ends with 2 solid tight ends. Team 3 left, which is Patrick Mahomes, 4.10. Michael Thomas at the 4.11. George Kittle at the 4.12. But yeah, Marquise Brown at the 5-1. Like that pick for Hollywood. I do like Malik Willis Stan's team. I think it says a lot. I think the other thing I just want to just add in, tonight been having a good night. Just had Japanese steakhouse. So I'm just feeling good. I'm excited to be here. With you guys. AJ Dillon at the 5-2. Jerry Jeudy at the 5-3. J.K. Dobbins at the 5-4. So those are all the players that in that range. I really do like me some Jerry Jeudy. I really do like Brandon Cooks a whole lot. Brandon Cooks, it's so underwhelming. Like not underwhelming. He always overproduces each and every year. It's weird to me that Brandon Cooks I think finally this year is getting the respect he deserved. Earlier this offseason, you were able to get Brandon Cooks late sixth, early seventh round for these redraft leagues. And now he's going right before Chris Godwin, right with Jerry Jeudy. Like, I think people are realizing like the upside in the floor is right there for Brandon Cooks. So great value on that one for Brandon Cooks. But yeah, means a lot for everyone chilling here with me as we kind of do this mock draft. I don't exactly know who I will be picking here, but I just want to make sure I am live on YouTube because I can't really tell from my end if I am. Yeah, we live, baby. We live. We live. No one's joined in that, but we're trying. So I'm going to be on the clock. Of course, I'm probably going with a wide receiver here. I don't absolutely love any of the options as my wide receiver one. So we're gonna play what's happening here, and we're just gonna take the value. And so we're gonna take in the fifth round. I feel pretty confident having Justin Herbert fall to me. Feel pretty great having maybe the QB2 falling to me on my team. Lamar Jackson go off the board. So as we come back around, we'll probably draft our first wide receiver. And with this heavy RB build, we already have kind of Travis Kelce as our wide receiver one. We do want some upside. I was hoping Amon Brown somehow would fall down back, but he did not. Bad Adam Smith is saying it. After Justin Herbert, we had Lamar Jackson and Amon Brown. I really, like I said, wanted him to fall to me. Elijah Mitchell, Rashad Bateman. And so I'm back on the clock. And I think I'm just going to take we know, of course, Deshaun Watson's out. So I'm going to leave Amari Cooper. And I'm going to take Juju Smith-Schuster. I don't feel great as my wide receiver one. So Dennis21 is saying that Boner Champ got the best team and everyone knows it. Does he? Interesting. I think he's talking about himself, but with Dalvin Cook, Mark Andrews, Breece Hall, Cortland Sutton. Solid squad for sure. So after I took Juju Smith-Schuster, Amari Cooper went off the board. Amari Cooper is a really interesting player to me. I think the main reason that Amari Cooper is going to be falling is, of course, with the Deshaun Watson news. Amari Cooper's not going to be able to sustain 11 weeks with Jacoby Brissett. Like, he automatically becomes a wide receiver 2. Will not have any of those wide receiver 1 up weeks. And so that is why I would be taking a Juju Smith-Schuster, who maybe is not as talented as Amari Cooper by any stretch of the imagination, but is playing for the Kansas City Chiefs offense with Patrick Mahomes. And I think with me getting Travis Kelce and Juju Smith-Schuster makes me feel pretty good. So thank you so much for the other viewer joining in. Appreciate it. If you are from my draft, let me know in the comments, on the YouTube comments. Leave a like on the stream, as well as subscribe if you appreciate the value that I provide, because you know what? I appreciate you being here, man. Really do. So then we had Darnell Mooney, Adam Thielen, and then Gabe Davis off the board. We're kind of getting into that RB dead zone. I mean, it's been the RB dead zone for quite a bit of time, but now it's almost getting to the wide receiver dead zone where these wide receivers are coming off the board. But then Malik in the chat says, Malik Willisan says, if you have to come out and say your team is the best, then it isn't the best. I totally agree with that statement, because my thing is, you don't need to be braggadocious. Like, people are going to look at your team and say, man, that's a good team. You don't have to necessarily be bragging about it at all. So having some fun in the sleeper chat. So after Adam Thielen, we had Gabe Davis and then DeAndre Hopkins at 6'8". When you get DeAndre Hopkins as your wide receiver 3 in a redraft league, and you know that he's not going to be playing for 6 weeks, like, that's great value when you're banking on Allen Robinson and Brandon Cooks as your 2 primarily. Well, and he has Cooper Kupp. So really great wide receiver 4 pick. Jalen Hurts at 6'9", TJ Hawkinson at the 6'10", Dallas Goedert at 6'11", Drake London, and then Elijah Moore off the board. I've been loving seeing Elijah Moore going off in that 7th round. It means we just see what's happening in camp. Like, he's absolutely balling out. And this is another move. I'm also in a collective called Trades and Grades. And one of our members, Camden, always talks about his love for Antonio Gibbs and how he would draft him in the 5th round of every year. The fact that the news is coming out with Brian Robinson, we see exactly what's been happening every year with the fumble issues. He is a great, amazing talent, but Antonio Gibson at 7-2. Is that a value? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. If you are here, would love if you would leave a like on the stream. If I provide great value, subscribe. But on top of leaving a like, leave a comment. Where are you drafting Antonio Gibson this year? I'd love to know as we kind of figure this out as a community, as we kind of go into these drafts. Are you drafting Antonio Gibson? You leaving him? Because to be honest, he could completely become an absolute value in the 6th round, 7th round. But then at the same time, if he is sitting 3rd string, 2nd string behind Brian Robinson, JD McKissic's getting all the receiving work, I don't know. So after Antonio Gibson, we have Miles Sanders, Tyler Lockett, Chase Edmonds, Cordell Patterson, and then now we're waiting on Dennis 21 on who he's going to draft. Drafted Clyde Edwards-Helaire at the 7-7. For us right now with our team, we're feeling pretty good. We got Justin Herbert, Najee Harris, Travis Etienne, Juju Smith-Schuster, Travis Kelce, and Cam Akers. We could use definitely a bunch more wide receivers. We went pretty heavy RB to begin with, and so we will absolutely be smashing on. You mean 2nd string Gibson? Antonio Gibson, 7th round. Yeah, I like that. Someone had to add that he is 2nd string. So I am now back on the clock. We're taking wide receiver here, and we are taking the upside shot with Treylon Burks. I think a lot of people are just really overthinking the way that Treylon Burks is going to be used. Like the Tennessee Titans, it's Robert Woods and no one else in that wide receiver room. We know that sometimes it does take a rookie wide receiver just a little bit extra to be able to figure out exactly how they're going to be used. And Treylon Burks, just based on everything, I think he's going to be an absolute great value. If you could get him now, granted, what I'd love for like Devontae Smith to fall to me, I think that would have been great. But then after I drafted Treylon Burks, we had Kareem Hunt, Brandon Ayuk off the board. I am hoping another receiver falls to me, and I'm hoping it's another rookie. I really am, because this man caught a touchdown for the Saints in his rookie debut, and so I'm hoping that there's a chance that I potentially get him again. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Al Lazard then goes off, and that leaves me to get Chris Olave. Now, I am an Ohio State truther. I do originally reside from the great state of Ohio. OHIO, baby. Go Bucks. But I think we sometimes really, like I said, overvalue these rookies. We get a little bit worried about what's necessarily going to be happening. But the thing that I have to remember about Chris Olave, absolute great pedigree coming from Ohio State, great route runner, and now he's tied to Jameis Winston. I'm not worried about Michael Thomas coming back at all. Michael Thomas could still be the wide receiver 1, and Chris Olave still has top 15 upside. So it's just a matter of exactly figuring out what's happening with the whole offense. Is Jameis going to be still slinging it? Hopefully LASIK has helped the man, and we're just kind of going to go from there. But after Chris Olave out the bottom, we had Hunter Renfrow and then Ramondre Stevens at the 8-5. And Dennis is back on the clock. Like I said, I think we're going to do, well, we will be doing another, if anyone here is in the chat, like message me if you want to do another mock draft after this. We might just do one tonight. Maybe we'll do another one. Just kind of depends on how everything's going. So after so we had Hunter Renfrow, Ramondre Stevens, and Damian Harris. So we had the Patriots back to back, and then we had Devin Singletary. What I would be doing here, especially like for some of these teams, I imagine, follow the volume. Well, he's just going to be picking wide receivers. So going to be picking wide receivers. And so now as we kind of take this little brief intermission while people are still drafting, had me a nice filet mignon tonight, some nice rice, some nice yum yum sauce. If anyone's ever been to a Japanese steakhouse, highly recommend. Tastes so good. Shout out to Noah and Ike, who are 2 good friends of mine, for jumping in with me. After Devin Singletary, we had Rashard Penny, Trey Lance, Ken Walker, Hernia Man, Joe Burrow, and then Kyler Murray come off the board. So after that, we had Robert Woods at the 9-1. And, we had Dawson Knox, Melvin Gordon. Just interesting players here. Christian Kirk, Melvin Gordon. What's going to be happening with the shared touches between him and Javonte Williams? I don't necessarily know. But Then after Melvin Gordon, we had Christian Kirk, Damian Pierce, Russell Wilson. You know what? I left my own comment on this stream because that's how much I care about this. This is how much I care about myself. You're killing it. You know what? Sometimes that self-love is needed to just continue on and just continue crushing it. So thank you, Caleb, from the bottom of my heart. I do love you. But Russell Wilson, then Tom Brady off the board. I think the thing when we're looking at our next pick, are we taking another wide receiver? Probably. We already got our quarterback. We already got our tight end. So it's absolutely about hammering these wide receivers late. There's two guys I'm looking at here. I'm looking at, Garrett Wilson. Getting Garrett Wilson the 9-10. I made a TikTok about this, talking about just the pedigree that he's dealt with target competition before, so I'm not scared about Elijah Moore. And I know he is listed as the wide receiver 3. He is behind Corey Davis and maybe even Braxton Berrios, but a man like him is going to end up getting the volume. He's going to end up getting the targets as being the 10th overall pick. They're going to get him involved. And maybe it's not until later in the season, but when you're drafting him as your wide receiver 4, that's kind of the upside pick that you want. And so I'm just hoping this player falls to me because we Kenneth Gainwell off the board. We got three more picks to make it to me. And I don't know. Allison, I think we need more women in the fantasy football industry that actually that are involved, want to be involved. Like, it's awesome to see. It's awesome to see. Absolutely awesome. Matthew Stafford at the 9-12. Like to see it. Matthew Stafford, even with the elbow injury, getting him after Dak Prescott, Tom Brady, Russell Wilson, he is right in that range. So, but yeah, if you were just tuning in, thanks so much for stopping in. Appreciate you guys being here. Like and subscribe if you find any value. If you are trying to get in more mocks with me, that would be absolutely amazing. And we're just trying to produce more fantasy football content on a week-to-week basis. So what you are getting put on a mic in front of a crowd of 20 people. Oh my gosh, Mac. Hey, I appreciate it. I'm on the board here. Let me answer your next question. Oh crap. And I was hoping Tony fell. I'm just going to go Sky Moore. Going to absolutely hammer the wide receivers from Kansas City. Mac J, he asked how I feel. 20 people is a lot. It's a lot, just to get that feeling. You know what? If all 20 members, I'll be honest right now, I am right now sitting at 39 subscribers. So if only half of you guys would subscribe to my channel, Caleb Nemi, I would get to my goal of before the season trying to get to 50 subscribers. And listen, I don't know if everyone that you're with likes fantasy football. I don't care. Just drop me a subscribe and just never watch my videos because it means a lot. It'll help the channel grow. And you know what? You guys would go down as legends here on a Saturday night as we are looking at a man trying to conquer his dreams. The end goal with this channel, I am a full-time software sales rep. So this is just a fun gig that I get to do on the side, talking about fantasy football, talking about how we're going to improve, everything like that. So that means a lot. They all like you. I like all of them if I see it happen. So if we can get, like I said, if we get to 50 subs tonight, I will do a little dance. I will do a little dance on this TikTok. Not TikTok. Well, I kind of do a TikTok dance. I am on TikTok as well. Not that matters, but I will do like I said, I will do some type of dance. I'll get up out of the seat. So yes, we are doing a draft in 6 minutes. So yes, hopefully your draft goes good. Hopefully it goes good. I would be drafting heavy RB to anyone listening and thinking what they need to do exactly. Heavy RB in the first 3 rounds, unless Stephon Diggs or Devontae Adams somehow falls to you in the second, then I would pivot and, like I said, just robust RB, first 2 picks, and then 3rd round, depending if AJ Brown falls. If he doesn't, draft another RB, and then figure your wide receivers out in the 4th, punt tight end, and then 5th or 6th round, depending values, maybe grab a quarterback. That would be my suggestion for this year. AC, thanks so much for stopping in, man. Appreciate you being here. This is just a mock draft. So I'm doing mocks almost every night, trying to figure out exactly how things are going. So yes, no money is on the table. So yes, maybe the values are maybe not as consistent as they might be if you're in a more competitive league with money on the line. And that would be how I'm looking at it. But yeah, thanks so much for stopping in. Like I said, if you guys are new to the channel, please subscribe. We're trying to grow the channel as we get into fantasy football season, we'll be posting more like waiver wires. We're going to be talking like starts and assists, everything like that. We just kind of got out of like last week and a half ago, got out of the dynasty content and got full into redraft season. So that's what we're doing. I've been playing fantasy football since 2007. LaDainian Tomlinson was the 101 the first year I played fantasy football. So not that I've won a few leagues, I've lost a lot of leagues. And so that's why we're here, to just absolutely like crush it. P Tizzle is in the building. I got you a shout out, my man. Can I get a shout out? Yes, my man. You of course can. Thanks so much for stopping in, being a part of my channel, because you just subbed. You became a part of the Caleb and Me family. We are absolutely going to be grinding. So other suggestion, follow me on Twitter, because I will be posting like where you can find these mocks. I try to post some videos trying to get everyone involved so we can just become better fantasy football players together. Right here, I'm going to take James Robinson. I did draft Travis Etienne, so I'm making sure that I absolutely lock down that Jackson Field, backfield. AC, same money draft, not till weekend before season opener. Yeah, that's how I am. I have a big one, like the Sunday, Labor Day weekend on that Sunday. Have it's like a $70. I mean, it's not big, but $70. And then of course like a $275. And then I got a few bigger ones that are happening that weekend as well. But it's like a family money one. So just like, the money doesn't even matter. Like winning 250 to like $300 doesn't even matter. I just want to like crush my other family members, like in fantasy football, like not absolutely love them. So if any of you guys are watching, I do love you. But sadly we'll be taking the trophy again. And then P Tizzle, Daddy, you know what? Just calling me Daddy is, man, you're making me blush over here, man. You're making me blush over here. I wanted to take a wide receiver, tight ends, I don't want to even draft a backup quarterback. I think I'm just going to hammer running back at this point. I'm going to take Ronald Jones. You can never have too many good running backs. But yeah, P Tizzle, you don't have to call me Daddy. I know I'm I got the muscles, I got the everything. I'm a snack. That's what my wife would call me, as a snack. But no, thanks for being here, man. Thanks for being here. Mark, Mac J, did I get to the 50 subscribers that you were promising? I don't know if you did. Okay, we are at 41. Mac J, you still in here? We're nine short, man. We're 9 short. I need some more. We're grinding. I do like Malik Willison is telling me that he can't believe I took 4 rookie wide receivers. Malik, I agree with you. It's a little risky taking 4, but I think the upside, like you're talking like known commodities with like a Jarvis Landry, or if you look anywhere through the draft, but being able to just hammer those wide receivers, and maybe 2 of them don't work out, but knowing it's redraft, knowing I'll be able to play the field, being able to play the waiver wire, that is exactly why I'm taking those high upside shots. Because what happens if Chris Olave is a top 15 wide receiver and so is Treylon Burks? Like those are the kind of things you have to consider when you're drafting. And since I went so heavy RB, I had to take some of those late round shots on everything like that. Oh, dude, I'm in Max crowd. Oh, Pete Tizzle, my man, you're in the crowd. You're about to draft. What pick do you have in your draft? Is it 10 man, 12 man, 1 QB, PPR? Let me know what those league settings are. Bro, Max bringing the party. Max bringing the party here before the thing. AC, how do you go about tight ends? I usually skimp on this position. Yeah, so I totally agree with you. So this year in particular, like, let me see if I could find one that went late here. I really love getting Cole Kmet late. I think you can usually get like a Cole Kmet in the 10th, and then like maybe in the 13th, be able to get Noah Fant. And so I love absolutely waiting on getting those tight ends, because unless, of course, you're in like the 2nd round and Travis Kelce falls to you, which he did. And I mean, where he felt like I couldn't give up that value. So pretty much Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews in the 2nd. If you can't get either of those guys, don't worry about it. Punt the position. Kyle Pitts in the 3rd, depends on who's on the board. Like I would prefer AJ Brown over Kyle Pitts, but if somehow Kyle Pitts falls to the 3-6, 3-7, then I am looking at Kyle Pitts. And then if I can't get Kyle Pitts in the 3rd, then I can't get George Kittle in the 5th, then I am punting the position until I look at the 12th, 13th round to get a Cole Kmet or something like that. Because at the end of the day, the difference between like the tight end 12 and the tight end 7 or 6 is like hardly anything at all. And you really get a lot of other positions. Mac, we are blowing up with comments here. So Mac J, yes, sir. Hey, Mac J, like I said, 20 people meaning a lot to me as we're continuing to grow this channel and grind. P Tizzle, second. Oh, we'll be back after the draft. Okay, let me know. So you got the second pick. Yeah, definitely. If Jonathan Taylor falls to you, draft Jonathan Taylor, which he probably won't. And so if you can't take Jonathan Taylor, then definitely take CMC second. I don't care about the injury risks. Like take CMC. And then freaking Carson, I'm here from the Max crowd. Ooh, we got everybody up here in the building. Carson, thanks so much for stopping in. Thanks so much for liking the channel, for leaving a comment, for engaging with this community, and good luck on your draft, man. I really, really wish you. What pick do you got? And then someone said, "Say, Daddy." You know what, Daddy? That's how I say it. That's how I say it. Daddy, Daddy. Hopefully that's it. Bringing you some enjoyment on your Saturday night before you draft. I drafted Hunter Henry at the 13-10. We'll see exactly what happens after this, but yeah. Too bad Mac Daddy fam. Too bad we couldn't do we should do like a live where we if someone shared their screen or whatever, join in live draft. That'd be freaking awesome. We should have planned it ahead of time, but hey, you guys just found me and I just found you. So welcome to the squad. So after Hunter Henry, we had Devontae Parker and then TDP. TDP, I think, is a great late round flyer. Like Elijah Mitchell, every year there's that 6th round pick, 5th round pick that you run a new running back every year for the 49ers. And they drafted TDP in the 3rd round. So we do have to consider that. They did give him some decent draft capital. Same exact draft capital they gave Trey Sermon last year. So I think there is the upside that he does produce and turn into something. Of course, taking my second quarterback, I'm going to go with Jameis Winston. I already hyped up Jameis Winston enough earlier in the draft, but of course, when he is slinging it, he's slinging it. And we saw what he could do with Tampa Bay. He might not be the best. Actual real life quarterback, but for fantasy, man, that's also why I'm so high on Chris Olave. Chris Godwin was the wide receiver 2. Mike Evans was the wide receiver 10 the year that Jameis Winston was a top 5 fantasy quarterback, even though he went 30 for 30. That I can't wait until that ESPN episode drops someday when they talk about the 30 for 30 season with Jameis Winston. Mac J, I'm trying to get you to 50 subs. Listen, Mac, you are my man in there. Keep grinding. I think I just checked. We were at 41. So I'm at 42, dude. I need 8 more. 8 more and we're there. 8 more and we're there. You know what? I'm going to keep, and like I said, I know you guys are drafting. So I'm going to do another draft after this. And we're just going to keep it moving. We're going to keep it moving on the Saturday night as we engage, as we talk about fantasy football, as we just are around each other, around people that love fantasy football. So yeah, if you guys have any draft questions, I'm going to still be here. So if you guys are who do I take at my pick? Let me know and I'll exactly figure it out. So Mac J, appreciate you putting me on the screen in front of 10 people. It means a lot. It means a lot. Especially for a guy that isn't even up to 50 subscribers yet. Means a lot. Someday when maybe it's, I don't even know. Once I hit 1K subscribers, Mac J, I'm giving you a shout out, man. Mac J, I'm giving you a shout out. So write that down. Remember it. Hopefully it's sooner rather than later, but maybe next year at some point. So after I drafted Jameis Winston, we had J.D. McKissic, Myers, Galladay, Dearness Johnson, Trevor Lawrence. And I'm back on the clock, and I'm just going to take a late round flyer running or wide receiver. We'll go Wan'Dale Robinson. Who knows what's going to happen with Daniel Jones and everything like that. But let me make another mock draft. Is anyone in here that wants to do a mock? Is anyone in here that wants to do a mock with me? Leave a comment because I will be. Let me set up another draft here really quick, and then yeah, let me make sure. Draft settings. Yeah, cool. Yep. Cool. We doing another one. So if you're here, AC, we are just doing PPR tonight. I'm just doing basic PPR mock drafts, 1 QB, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and 2 flex. No defense, no nothing like that. So if you are interested, I'm going to be posting this in the sleeper mock draft labby. So if you want to find that, no worries. We're about to start another one and get this all in. Okay, AC, go to your, do you know how to see it in your, do you know how to see it in the sleeper thing? It doesn't fill up super fast, but sometimes it does. And then one of my boys, Noah, wants in. So let me. Sorry for the delay. I know we going slow here, trying to get this new mock started. So I'm about to post it. So AC. So I'm going to the mock drafts threads and I am posting it right now as we speak. So AC, I just posted it. I'll post it a few times so you can see the link. AC, are you in here? AC, you in here, my man? Let me know if you joined. I need to join here. Yeah. I don't draft from the 4 spot hardly enough. So we're going to be drafting from the 4 spot here. Come on, AC. We're filling up fast, man. You gotta jump in here fast. We got 3 spots left. Yeah, working on it. Okay, man. We got 3 spots. AC, we got 2 spots. AC, where you at, man? You in here? Is that you? We got 1 more spot, bro. We got 1 more spot. I'm posting it again, AC. Hopefully you can find it. Hopefully you can find it, and if not, we will get you in another night, man. We will get you in another night. You know, people were making me say daddy earlier. Like, it's been a crazy stream. Been a crazy stream. So anyway, if you are just joining the stream and you are in this mock draft, let me know in the comments. Excited to get this one rolling. We're on the grind to get 50 subscribers by the time the football season starts around. Doing redraft mocks almost every night. Posting TikToks, doing YouTube shorts, producing YouTube content. So if you like fantasy football, you found the right YouTube channel for you. And so thanks so much for being here. Appreciate it. Oh, another night. You need to sign up for Sleeper. Oh my gosh, man. I totally understand. Sign up another night and we will get you in this mock and we will have some fun and we'll work on your team and we'll grade it. So thanks so much for being here, man. It means a lot. Appreciate the support. I got 1 spot left. 1 spot left. 1 spot left in this mock. So to the 4 viewers, how are you guys doing? How's your night been? What are your big plans for your Sunday? Are you excited to go back to work next week? I don't know. I'm not excited to go back to work. So that's why I'm making these fantasy football content because I like thinking about it. Like thinking about everything. Mac J, you guys still did the draft start for you guys? How's it going? Carson, anything happening with you boys? Where's your draft at? How are you picking? How's it working? 1 more. We got 1 more. We got one more here, and we are waiting for it. We'll see if we can get one more in here. Boom, and we are live. And thanks you so much for the 4 viewers, like I said, for being here. It means a lot. Spending your Saturday night with me, redrafting, watching redraft mocks. See if you're in the mocking with us as we continue to grind to this 2022 fantasy football season. And let me know in the comment, who are you drafting 101? If you have the 101, are you drafting Jonathan Taylor? You drafting Christian McCaffrey? Which way are you going? Who are you drafting? Would love to hear your thoughts. So Jonathan Taylor goes, and Christian McCaffrey goes to the 1 and 2. For me, I'm drafting Christian McCaffrey 101. Doesn't even matter. 30 points per game, 27 points per game. Last 2 seasons, of course, we do know he does get injured like all the freaking time. But I will say this. If you can, let's say you get Christian McCaffrey for 10 games. Are you still drafting him at the 101? To me, I would say yes, because there's almost a guarantee that if he plays 10 games, you are winning, should be winning like 8 to 10 games. And you can't necessarily say that about all your first round picks. So then now I am on the clock at the 104. And this is where typically I'm then looking at wide receivers, and I'm drafting Cooper Kupp. I know some people have Justin Jefferson. They're trying to get all pretty and say Justin Jefferson is the wide receiver 1 this year. When I look at it, like Cooper Kupp, even if let's say he regresses, let's say that he loses some catches, he loses some yards, loses some touchdowns. Even if he regresses 25%, he was still going to be the wide receiver 1 last year on a points per game basis and then the wide receiver 1 overall. Let's be clear. I don't think something that crazy is going to happen. So let's say he regresses 20%. He's still the wide receiver 1 overall and worthy of that 1.4 pick. So that is why I went with Cooper Kupp. It's going to take a lot for Justin Jefferson to be able to catch Cooper Kupp. Now, I know that the Vikings just absolutely, hired the new Rams offensive coordinator to be their offensive coordinator or their head coach. I can't remember either way, but they're going to be running the Rams system. Justin Jefferson says he now sees why Cooper Kupp was open all the time. So I hope good things happen for Justin Jefferson. That is why he's worthy being taken at the 1-7. So I just think the difference between Cooper Kupp and Justin Jefferson is a little bit further apart than what a typical fantasy expert or maybe what the average fantasy fan is thinking. So let me know, who are you taking between Cooper Kupp and Justin Jefferson? Who are you drafting? And let me know. I haven't seen anyone talk about Christian McCaffrey or Jonathan Taylor. So either you guys all agree with me or you're just, you don't want to comment. I don't know, bro. Oh, AC coming in here. I don't know, bro. JT was a machine last year. CMC is destined to miss at least a few games. I totally agree with you. I just do not think that Jonathan Taylor is going to have the receiving upside, and he's going to have to put up crazy volume to repeat what he did last year. And there's actually a fact. I think Alex Caruso, he's on Twitter. He posted about this. Since 2006, there has not been an RB1 that has repeated on back-to-back seasons. And so since that's the idea, then that's why I'm willing to take the risk on Christian McCaffrey becoming the 101 this year or becoming the RB1 overall over Jonathan Taylor. So let me know if that's good thinking, or maybe I should just say I'm getting too pretty with it and just take Jonathan Taylor because he proved it last year. But we have seen like when that happens in the past, even like that makes me a little bit nervous taking Cooper Kupp because Michael Thomas fell off after his wide receiver 1 season. Who was the running back 1, 2 years ago? Was that Alvin Kamara? I kind of forget. Drinking some water. Thanks so much to the 5 viewers. We're trying to get up to 50 subscribers by beginning of football season. So if you could do me a favor, leave a like, maybe leave a comment. And if you actually like what's happening here and want to get involved in more mocks, subscribe to the channel because we will be doing a lot more as we kind of grow this community, everyone will be doing a lot more mocks together. So the mocks will get better. The performance will get better in these mocks. The ADPs will be a little bit closer. Eventually, I live in Indiana, so I can't do any underdog drafts on my computer, which is absolutely dumb. So if underdog's watching this, friggin' let me do some underdog drafts on my computer. But we, like I said, are grinding. So now Cooper Kupp, I'm back on the board, and we have Nick Chubb, Javonte Williams, and Leonard Fournette. I'm going Javonte Williams. I'm feeling pretty good about it as my RB1. I think I would have loved for an Aaron Jones to fall. Saquon Barkley earlier this offseason was falling to me here. But now, of course, Saquon Barkley's one at 2-2. If you get Alvin Kamara and Saquon Barkley as your 2 running backs, you have to be feeling great about yourself. Or you're not a Saquon fan. Like, I'm a huge Saquon guy. I know last year the injuries hurt. Maybe you're watching the stream and you're like, man, this guy really likes Christian McCaffrey and he really likes Saquon Barkley. But the fact of the matter is, both of those guys, when you're talking on a points per game basis, are super talented, and we can't predict injuries. We can think someone's injury prone, but the running back position is just so every year someone gets hurt. The running backs are always getting hurt. And I also would like to remind you that 40% of first round picks in the first round of your fantasy football draft are going to bust. So, and most of them are running backs because they get hurt, something happens, they don't produce. And so that's why I'm trying to take these shots on these guys that we know they're proven on their points per game basis. And so like, that's the only thing we can really track and be consistent with. So this 14 Sean Ock got Jonathan Taylor, Ezekiel Elliott, and he went row best RB for sure. Josh Allen, and then Kyle Pitts. And now I am on the board. And this is the perfect point for me. Well, I'm between AJ Brown here and good old Lenny. I almost took Lenny last time, but I'm going to take Lenny here. I'm going to absolutely go down on my, running backs. So now I have my 2 running backs that I'm really feeling confident about. I didn't feel absolutely confident in Javonte Williams. So if it had been an Aaron Jones, I probably would have leaned and gone AJ Brown. But I think at that value, you have to roll with those 2 running backs, and we're going to be hoping for a solid wide receiver on the way back. But we'll see. Also, for anyone watching, have you guys been watching preseason games? Who, just trying to interact with you. So if you have any questions about your own fantasy football drafts, your own fantasy leagues, anything that you're seeing that's happening on the board, love to talk exactly what you are thinking, what you want to talk about, because that's what I'm here to do. Grow in knowledge of fantasy football with you so that we can absolutely demolish our leagues, win some money, and be the best fantasy football players that we can be. So thanks so much. Also, Mac J was talking some stuff about how we're trying to, like I said, trying to get up to 50 subscribers by the beginning of football season. So right now, where are we at? We are at 42. So if you are in this stream and have not liked and subscribed to the channel, I would appreciate if you would leave me a like, but subscribe. Even if you don't ever want to watch me again, that's totally fine too. I'm just trying to grow in my YouTube knowledge, in my fantasy football knowledge, and helping you guys win your leagues. That's what we're trying to do here. So after Leonard Fournette, we had AJ Brown, Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman's really been shooting up the boards here recently. Tyreek Hill fell to 3.7. That's interesting because he's been going around 2.8, 2.9. Then we had Breece Hall, Jalen Waddle, Keenan Allen, Travis Etienne at the 3.11. He's been shooting up boards too. He, earlier this last 2 weeks, maybe you could be getting him around like the 4.3, 4.2. Now he's going the back end of the third, even to the mid third, depending. I'm a big Travis Etienne guy, so right around the Breece Hall range is where I would take Travis Etienne. T. Higgins fell all the way to 3.12. That's another interesting one. DJ Moore, Cortland Sutton, Justin Herbert, George Kittle, Cam Akers, and then Terry McLaurin. How are you guys thinking about Terry McLaurin this year? Is Terry McLaurin going to be solid with Carson Wentz? I know they brought in Jahan Dotson. Logan Thomas is returning from injury. No one's talking about this, but Curtis Samuel is also back, going to be healthy. So I think Terry McLaurin might not get the volume that we all think. Mike Williams is a lot higher for me than consensus because of the fact that he is just playing with Justin Herbert on a week-to-week basis. And yeah, you know what? Shout out to my cousin, Daniel Hickman. Got me into Dynasty Fantasy Football. I've become a freaking addict ever since then. And yeah, man, appreciate you. If no one, dude's biceps are massive and just makes me want to go to the gym just because of how amazing. Now I'm married. So I'm commenting on my cousin's biceps, but here we are. Great stuff, Caleb. Question: has Pittman Love gone too far? And I just autoed as I was looking at this question. So went Patrick Mahomes. That's not where I wanted to go, but we're having too much fun in this chat. And so sorry to anyone watching this and realizing that I autoed. So let me quickly get myself off auto so I don't pick again. And Daniel, I'll answer your question in a quick second. So I think the Pittman Love has gone a little too far. I think we're just banking on the projection that he is going to be getting that 140 to 150 targets. I think the fantasy football community has really pushed Michael Pittman up the boards. The main thing that we have to remember about Matt Ryan is when he does have that wide receiver one, whether it's been a Julio Jones, whether it has been a Calvin Ridley, those guys have gotten anywhere between 140 to 160 targets on a year-by-year basis. So I think everyone instantly sees Matt Ryan goes to the Colts and they think, hey, he's going to be getting close to that kind of target share because who else is there to throw to? Paris Campbell ain't that guy. And I'm back on the board. I'm going to be going wide receiver. And somehow Deontay fell back to me as my wide receiver 2, feeling pretty good about that. Honestly, knowing I got Deontay at the 5.4 I don't hate that Patrick Mahomes pick at all. But knowing that Michael Pittman probably he might get the targets, but I don't know. We still have to see it. And so I know a lot of people, if you are just going the volume game, like when you're looking at the way that he just went around AJ Brown and Tyreek Hill, like you do have to think like Michael Pittman's probably going to be getting more volume than those two guys. But the problem is he the wide receiver that those guys are? I know he's not, because he hasn't proven that up to this point in his career. Maybe he has that massive third-year breakout because that second-year breakout was pretty evident. I know you've bought him in a lot of your our dynasty leagues. I can't remember if you sold him, but I know you were a big fan. So I don't know if that answers your question, but I think it's getting there. Middle of the third is early, really early, and that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'd rather have AJ Brown, but AJ Brown's going in the early third most likely. I think I'd rather have Jalen Waddle, Keenan Allen. I probably would rather have Keenan Allen, T Higgins. I might not rather have Jalen Waddle than Michael Pittman. So that's interesting. But that is also true. Calvin Ridley was 26 when he broke out because everyone was like waiting on it. And it just happened really late. And Michael Pittman is only like, what, is he 23 or 24 this year? Maybe it happens. Maybe this is the year that he absolutely emerges. I know they've been talking about Ashton Derlin in camp. He's been getting a lot of buzz. Paris Campbell's gotten a little buzz. I know Alec Pierce. I'm really excited for Alec Pierce. I think he's a really great late round target because I don't know. I think it's the same kind of volume that we might be talking about. Like I think Alec Pierce still gets somewhere around 100 targets and you get him like in the 12th, 13th or 14th round. So, but yeah, Daniel, we need to do, while you're in here, we need to do one of these lives here together and we can talk about it. I just did one with my friend Jordan. And it was really fun. So would appreciate some night when maybe all the kids are in bed and you have a spare moment, which I think is like never, because you're a busy guy. If you ever want to do one, great to have you in. I am drafting Michael Thomas here. Feeling pretty good about that. None of the tight ends. Dalton Schultz wasn't on the board. And of course, Michael Thomas, the hype is starting up. I've been seeing him really go at like the 6'2", 6'1". So getting him a little bit later, making me feel pretty good about my team. Yeah, Daniel, of course. Thanks so much for being here. AC, Sutton or Judy this year. I have them basically interchangeable. Oh, it's easily for me, Sutton. We've seen Sutton do it with really crappy quarterback play. I know he didn't do it last year. But the thing that I have to remember about me is Courtland Sutton's 6'4", 225. He does have he's just the alpha wide receiver that you want. Now, not the saying that Jerry Jeudy's not an alpha wide receiver at all, but he's more along that beta build. He's going to have to get the targets. And the thing is, he did deal with some drop issues last year. And we got to see. I think both of those guys are really good, but let's see where they went in this draft while we're talking about it. So Courtland Sutton went at the 4-2, and then Jerry Jeudy. Has he not even gone yet? No, he has. Oh, Jerry Jeudy went at the 4-12. Like, I think Jerry Jeudy is risen way too high. I think Courtland Sutton was always a little undervalued. So now he's just kind of going at value. And so that's kind of some of my thoughts. So I only have 2 wide receivers. I could go tight end, but I'm probably going to go with none of that I can wait on quarterback. And I'm just going to go with Kareem Hunt because Kareem Hunt, there's a chance that he gets traded and then he's going to be the RB1. And if not, then he is still going to be a solid top 14 option at running back as the backup there in the Cleveland Browns because they're going to absolutely pound the ball because, of course, with the new news of Deshaun Watson being suspended for 12 games, then which is also funny that the NFL did that to him. So he's going to be playing Houston on his game back. Really funny on that one that, Kareem Hunt's the good value there. But yeah, hopefully AC, that answered the question on Sutton or Jeudy. After Kareem Hunt, we had Drake London off the board, Alan Lazard, and then TJ Hawkinson. So now, of course, we're looking at values. So we're probably going to draft another wide receiver. We're going to be drafting a quarterback and a tight end. At this point, I've punted tight end, so I'm probably just going to continue to punt tight end. I was saying this earlier in the stream. I really love when you can get a Cole Kmet and Noah Fant there in the late rounds because I believe that the difference between those guys and really like a Dawson Knox is very small, besides the fact that Dawson Knox might be playing with the quarterback one, depending on how you view it. But yeah, to all my 5 viewers right now, appreciate you guys being here. If you have not liked the stream, leave a like. Like I said, we're going to be doing a lot more of these mock drafts. So I want you guys to be involved in the community. And of course, if you want to be involved and watch a lot more of these mock drafts, please subscribe to the channel. Really helps me out, helps out the YouTube algorithm that everyone talks about, push the like button, subscribe. So we're trying to get to 50 subscribers by the time football season starts. And we've made some pretty good progress here tonight. So, like I said, if you want to help us out, I think, we had, I'm trying to remember who was Mac J. And I don't know if I don't think Mac J is still in here, but he had a bunch of guys and we were thinking that we might potentially get to 50 tonight. And I think we're sitting at like 43 right now. So, and if I were a little higher than that, then surprise, surprise, glad that happened. But after Dawson Knox, we had Tony Pollard, Chase Edmonds, Cordell Patterson, Brandon Ayuk, Hunter Renfrow, and then Zach Renfrow off the board. Yeah, so we're sitting at 42 subscribers. So if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe as we continue to provide this content. I will stop talking about subscriptions because that's not why I do this. I do this for you. I do this to really interact, create this fantasy football community so that we can all get better as fantasy football players and really win some money because we're practicing all the time so that when we get in these drafts with your family members or people that don't take fantasy football seriously and aren't watching a fantasy football stream at 9:55 EST at night, that you can demolish. So after Zach Ertz, we had Devontae Smith, James Cook, Prescott, Melvin Gordon, Ramondre Stevenson, and then I'm back on the board, and it's just an easy Elijah Moore. These wide receivers are falling, man. Really falling this draft, and I think that's always interesting to see. Like this draft has been a little bit more running back heavy, and so being able to get these wide receiver values, like, so now I have Cup, Deontay Johnson, Michael Thomas, and Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore is my wide receiver 4. Like if he was my wide receiver 3, I feel very comfortable with that. But the fact that I got him as my wide receiver 4, feeling really good. Then we had Tyler Lockett, Treylon Burks. Tell me right now in the comments what do you think of Treylon Burks? Do you think he's going to produce this year, or do you think we're overvaluing it as a dynasty community? Are we undervaluing him or as the fantasy football community? Do we think that he's just going to deal with drops? I don't know. After that, we had Devin Singletary and then Michael Carter go off the board. Michael Carter at the 9-1. I don't know. Getting the backup, like there's really no upside to Michael Carter. So don't necessarily know why people would be drafting him this early. I'm back on the clock, and I don't want to just keep hammering. I got a lot of receivers here, but I look at tight ends, and you know what? I think I'm going to pull the trigger on Dallas Goedert in the 9th. I don't know. I don't love Dallas Goedert this year, just being completely honest. I know I just drafted him, and I'm supposed to like give my analysis on why I drafted him over like waiting. Like I said, I like waiting for a Cole Kmet maybe a round or 2 later, but I just think he's playing with Jalen Hurts. He's playing with AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. They're not going to be able to double any of those guys. And Dallas Goedert's always been hyped. Everyone always said, oh man, once that guy gets a chance without Zach Ertz, and he kind of showed it in the first game without Zach Ertz last year. And then it kind of never happened for him after that. So I think we're just going to have to consider the fact that we're just banking on him playing an amazing offense. And sometimes with tight ends, that's about all you can do. And of course, he's 6'6". He's a monster of a man. Clearly, when he punched that one guy, I don't know if anyone remembers that. He got like in a bar fight out in, I'm trying to think it was Wyoming or something like that. But I would not want to mess with that guy. That's for sure. That is for sure. After Dallas Goedert, we had Chris Olave, Trey Lance, Garrett Wilson, Christian Kirk, George Pickens, James Robinson, and Russell Wilson off the board. Coming back, like I was thinking about drafting Garrett Wilson or Chris Olave, but I just thought I had too many wide receivers. So I thought the value was a little bit better. But yeah, like I said, Friday night, grinding on fantasy football. Glad everyone's here. Glad you guys are participating, being active in the chat. AC and man, AC, I should give you like a top fan supporter badge, man. I honestly don't watch college ball, so I have minimal info on these rookies. ETN seemed to be a popular pick this year. Yeah, ETN is a very popular pick this year. Probably, well, I know he got injured last season, but if he can't, I think the thing with ETN is he reminds me so much of like a DeAndre Swift and Alvin Kamara, where he's going to get most of his work out of the receiving role there with the Jaguars, and he has like the build that we like. For he can carry the ball for the first 2 downs and then catch the ball for the 3rd round. He's going to be on the field. We do know now the reports with James Robinson, but I think the thing is like the most valuable touches are going to be going to Travis Etienne. So that is why I'm really hyped on Travis Etienne. Other rookies that you should keep an eye on, Drake London, of course, was the wide receiver 1 for me in this class. And I know he got drafted that way, number 7 to the Falcons. Of course, we're worried a little bit about Marcus Mariota and the way that he's throwing, but at the end of the day, that team is really bad, so they're going to have to throw the ball a lot. And who are the top 2 options? Kyle Pitts and Drake London. So I think those are great values. My wide receiver 2 in the class was Garrett Wilson. I don't think he's going to perform like that. I'm just talking based on talent and based on evaluation. I don't think he's going to perform like that if we're like looking at the rookies this year, just because of the fact that he's playing in a pretty loaded wide receiver room with Elijah Moore, Corey Davis, and Braxton Berrios. So hopefully by the end of the season, he starts emerging as like a wide receiver 2, but he's probably going to end the year as a wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4. Chris Olave, of course, is playing with the Saints. And so you're just hoping that Jameis Winston is throwing the ball, hucking the ball far. And so he's actually my wide receiver 4. I had Treylon Burks over him, but I think Chris Olave is going to perform a lot better for redraft this year. And then Treylon Burks, if he turns into A.J. Brown, which I don't think is going to happen, then there's a really solid chance that Treylon Burks is decently solid for fantasy this year. But we'll have to see. I decided to take Robert Woods purely just on the fact that we know what Robert Woods is. Earlier in the stream, I was talking about Allen Robinson and how, of course, we see him being a like top, like having the best quarterback he's ever had. And the fact that Robert Woods last year was the wide receiver 12 going into like I think it was like week 7 or 8 whenever he tore his ACL. So no reason not to believe that talent's still not there. Of course, he goes to a less productive offense, but now he doesn't have to compete with Cooper Kupp. Of course, he only has Ryan Tannehill throwing him the ball. They are run first offense, but I think a lot of people aren't considering the fact that the Titans are probably not going to be as good this year just due to the regression that's going to happen because the defense is not as good this year. So they're going to have to put up points, and putting up points is not running the ball 30 times a game. So I think there's a really solid chance that Robert Woods has a really solid fantasy football season, and getting him as my wide receiver 5, like that's absolutely crazy value to be able to get him in the 10th round. And I am back up on the clock. I'm probably looking at drafting, I just feel really good about my whole team right now. I could take another running back, but there's some guys. Man, I don't want to get pretty with it. Oh gosh. I'm taking a reach, but I'm drafting Kenneth Gainwell. I think I'm at this point. You're drafting guys that he's going to get the receiving work. There's already reports out of camp that he might be the starter. And Miles Sanders, the fact that you're drafting Kenneth Gainwell in the 11th, and where did Miles Sanders go in this draft? I would never draft Miles Sanders. Where'd he go? Went at the 6'6" to Jack Clayton. Way too early for Miles Sanders. I mean, maybe not too early, but I just won't be taking Miles Sanders because he even in an interview said, don't draft me in fantasy. When a man says not draft you, like they all say to draft you, but when a man says not to draft him in fantasy, that's all you have to know, that I might be going a different direction. But yeah, thanks so much everyone for being here. AC, you're asking all the questions, but to any of the other 4 viewers, if you have any questions, AC, keep asking questions, my man. You're really helping out the stream. If you haven't left a like on the stream, would be very beneficial, especially as we continue to grow this channel. We are pushing for 50 subscribers. I think we're going to get there by maybe the middle of next week if we keep up on this pace. We got 4 new subscribers tonight, so if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Means a lot, helps me with the YouTube algorithm as we get more people. And granted, we only have 5 people in this chat, but once we get to start getting to the point where we're getting 10, 15, 20 people in the chat, it's going to be a lot more interactive. We're going to have a lot more quality mock drafts that are going to be happening. And AC, I need you to get the Sleeper app downloaded so that you can pop in these mocks. AC says, I'm a Phillies fan. Sanders is a definite no. Glad you're on the same page. What did you think of my Gainwell pick? Are you drafting Gainwell in fantasy football, especially if you get him in the 11th round? Like, do you have more faith in Gainwell, or are you someone that's been following and you're like, I'm just sticking away from all the running backs in Philly? Because I think there is good value when you look in the 11th round. I really think there is. So after I drafted Gainwell, we had Russell Gage, Pat Fryermuth, Tyler Algier, Cole Kmet. Exactly what I say when you're waiting like late round tight end, being able to get like Cole Kmet in the 11th, Tyler Boyd, Alberto, Kirk Cousins, Tua, Rashard White, Hunter Henry, Julio Jones. That's an interesting pick. If you're banking on the fact that the old Julio is coming back, like he just plays like 3 or 4 games a year. I know, same exact argument I have against CMC. Like, you can never predict injuries, but the man is 34. Like, I think we can say he's kind of coming to the end of his career. Legend, though. Absolute legend. Darrell Henderson, Rondell Moore, Brian Robinson. We are about to be back on the clock. We are looking at our team. We're feeling pretty good about all positions. So if a tight end falls, Maybe we draft tight end here. If a quarterback falls, maybe we draft a quarterback. Running back's looking a little bit sleek, so AC preaching exactly what I've been saying this whole offseason. Staying away from Sanders. Kenny G has tremendous value and upside in those later rounds. Also, Noah, if you are watching, my man, you're having a good draft. Glad to have you. Noah's one of my friends from college. I graduated like 3 or 4 years ago, so I'm like an actual adult, but just saw him tonight. So glad he jumped in this mock with us. Running back wise, I don't really like any of these running backs, but I think I'm going Irv Smith just to sure up the backup tight end spot. Hasn't ever proven anything, but of course is hyped up every year. And so hopefully he can, maybe this is the year it figures out. But yeah, AC, glad you're staying away from Sanders. That is a smart move. That is a man that knows his fantasy football. That is a man. So to all my 4 viewers, thanks so much for being here, guys. Appreciate you. If you haven't left a like on the stream, I've said that like every round. If you haven't left a like on the stream, I will find you and I will kill you. Just kidding. Doing my best. Who's that actor? I'm trying to. Oh, Liam Neeson. My best Liam Neeson. Neeson? Nelson? Neeson. Liam Neeson impression. But yeah, we're kind of getting to these nitty gritty rounds where it's have you studied? Where's the upside? Will these help you? Will these win you your league? Probably not. But will these be upside shots that really help you in the long run? Probably. I'm taking Jalen Tolbert. Going to take the high upside. He's going to be the wide receiver 2 with the Cowboys, and you're just hoping that he's going to get the passing work. He's going to be the wide receiver 2. So that's kind of the reason I'm leaning with Jalen Tolbert there. Nothing absolutely amazing to say fact wise or thinking about a situation, but oh, AC, my man, this is my last mock of the night as well. So no worries on that. Send me a friend request on Sleeper too. My name is just CNEME13, or is your Sleeper name AC? Maybe I'll send you a friend request so that when we decide to go live, like I said, subscribe to the channel too, because I try to post in advance, like, hey, we're going live at 9 or 8 tonight. Usually try to make that around 5 or 6. So at least you have 2 hours to see that. And then if you want in, send me a message and I'll try to get you in before I post it on the Crazy Sleeper forum. But that's how we're growing this channel. We're meeting randos and sleeper channels and talking a little bit about fantasy football. So AC 180, my guy. Okay, cool. I'm seeing Emi 13, which is right here. I'm the reason my picture is Aaron Hernandez is the fact that in all my leagues, my fantasy football name is Hernandez Hitman. Probably not funny to be making fun of it, but of course we play fantasy football, so we have fun with it. And that's been my name for the last few seasons. So that's why I keep it that. Sam, appreciate you being here, my man. For my flex and PPR leagues, who would you take, Cordell, Pat, or Brandon Ayuk? On a week-to-week basis, are you talking? Or I don't even know who week 1 is. Typically I'd probably lean, I'm probably going to lean Cordell Patterson. I think I'm going to lean Brandon Ayuk, but that's going to be a rough one. I'd play matchups for sure because I don't think, draft. Oh, Brandon Ayuk for sure. If you're drafting, Brandon Ayuk for sure. Yeah. I think Cordell Patterson's amazing. Don't get me wrong, but he is also 31 years old now. What he did last year at the age of 30 is ridiculous. I don't think it's, overall for draft. Yeah. I don't think he's going to be able to repeat it. And of course, I was talking a little bit earlier, the offense is going to be so bad for the Falcons that it's going to be really hard for them to be running the ball consistently. And maybe he really was a great receiver last year too. But I think he's going to be taking a little bit less receiving work, especially with Drake London and Kyle Pitts really stepping up. So Sam, appreciate you being here, my guy. If you haven't liked and subscribed to the channel, would mean a lot to me if you do, especially as I want to get definitely, dude, get in some mock drafts with me. That'd be great. As we kind of grow together, get better at fantasy football so that we can demolish our friends and have bragging rights. So appreciate you being here, my guy. It means a lot. So after I drafted Trevor Lawrence as my backup QB, Gerald Everett, Alec Pierce, Baker Mayfield, Raheem Mostert went off the board. And if you're watching this and you're in this draft with me, let me know. Let me know if you want me to grade your team at the end of this. I'll kind of go over my draft and how I think I did. Because sometimes it's not until you get into the back and you realize how things went for you. Do I need another? I already have enough running backs, so I can take just best available. Don't love anybody, but I'm just gonna take Yeah, I'm just gonna take Jamal Williams in case something happens to Swift. I think Jamal Williams gets just enough work. But in a typical redraft format, these are the type of players that will just be able to be drafted or not drafted, but be able to be dropped at the end of the season. So, but Sam, thanks so much for stopping in, my guy. Like I said, I got 3 viewers right now. If you have not liked and subscribed to the channel, we are sitting at 42 subs. So let me know. Let me know if you haven't subscribed. Subscribe to the channel. Like I said, we are 8 subscribers away from getting to our goal of 50 subscribers by the beginning of the football season. So thanks so much for stopping by. And yeah, I appreciate you guys being here. So after I drafted Jamal Williams, KJ Hamler, I think that's a really great upside pick, especially with the Tim Patrick injury for the Denver Broncos, Chuba Hubbard, Wan'Dale Robinson, and then Isaiah McKenzie. Isaiah McKenzie and sleeper right now is projected 11 points for week 1. I think that's really interesting that they think he's going to get that much work. Odell Beckham, Zamir White, KJ Osborne, and then Gus Edwards. So any teams you guys want me to grade? Otherwise, I'm going to just go through my team and we'll see how it goes. So I drafted Cooper Kupp, Javonte Williams, Leonard Fournette, Patrick Mahomes, Deontay Johnson, Michael Thomas, Kareem Hunt, Elijah Moore, Dallas Goedert, Robert Woods, Gainwell, Irv Smith, Tolbert, Trevor Lawrence, Jamal Williams. Feeling pretty good about the fact that I'm happy that I went with the 2 running backs and went Javonte and then drafted Leonard Fournette over like an AJ Brown because I was able to address the rest of my wide receiver position with Deontay, Michael Thomas, and Elijah Moore. So yeah, those are some of my thoughts. But to anyone, we have been live now for about an hour and 20 minutes. So thank you so much for stopping by the stream. Thank you for supporting me. Like, means a lot. This is a new streaming software too. So we're going to continue to just dive in, maybe get some guests on and just talk fantasy football for the rest of it. If that's something that you're interested in, please like and subscribe as we continue to grind. And we will be back live tomorrow. I think I'll probably be live around 8 to 9 EST. So ending the weekend off right. So if you want to jump in a mock with me, please send me a follower or please like and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Sleeper and Twitter. And yeah, we'll get you in a mock. So excited to continue drafting with you all. Thanks so much for being here and talk soon.